What's up, guys? It is time for day number 2 here of the GSL Code S round of 8.
That is correct, Tasteless. This is the last day of the round of 8. We will have our final 4 momentarily. Well, momentarily by, like
within
a couple
about 4 hours.
Yeah. About 4 hours, we're going to know who the top 4 of this tournament are.
Yeah. We're going to start today off with a very exciting match. Maru versus Ro8. I think this is the match that the majority of people are looking forward to most here in the round of 8. I have no idea who wins, though.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like, I think you got to side more towards Maru, but Ro8 has been killing every Terran so hard. His defense has been spot on. But Maru plays a slightly different style of Terran than everyone else and plays it better than everyone else. So this is the true test of Ro8.
It's interesting because these are 2 players that it's pretty difficult to prepare for, right? Nobody plays like Maru.
Yeah.
Nobody else plays like Ro8.
Yeah.
I guess the best they can do is study a bunch of VODs and just talk to their teammates.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to be an interesting match. I think it's going to be 3-2 no matter what.
I'm not 100% sure. It's hard for me to say because I look at Maru. He is pure aggression. Like, he's just he's like the Viking. That's a sucky. Why would I ever make that? Like, why don't I just make more Marauders?
Yeah.
Whereas Ro8 is like perfect defense. So it's like, does Ro8 know? Because Maru just gets more ground units than everyone else, but then Ro8 probably doesn't have to prepare for Vikings. So it's like, does he know how to deal with that? I think this is going to be a 3-1 one way or the other. One guy has the other guy figured out, I think.
I do think this is going to be a best of 5 where we probably have the least number of cheeses imaginable.
It could be.
I don't think he's going to cheese here. Maru, he has cheesed before in the past, but I don't think he needs to do it in this match. So this should be much more of like traditional StarCraft II, both players macroing up. We can see the strategies used.
That would make me a happy boy.
Artosis, a.k.a. Captain Careful from Broodwar. He loves the long games. He loves mech.
By the way, guys, the Code A qualifiers, of course, as I'm sure you've seen, are going on.
Yeah.
And as we see here, these are the players that have gotten through so far. Zest, there you go.
I was looking for that. Yep.
Trap, that's awesome.
Yep.
Hyun, awesome. Leenock,
cool to see
awesome.
Leenock in there.
Oh,
and
Lucira, that's great.
Yeah.
From the Terrans, Sky High and Cure and Jakji. Those are 3 great names to get through there as well. Wow, this is like a lot of the people that are missing are getting right into Code A.
Season 3 is going to be so good.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have all the guys back together again. The old school ones, the new school ones, like Zest, for instance, old school like Lucira. It's going to be really cool. Code A will be very interesting. And again, as always, Code S. It's nice because each season this year has been better than the one before. Or even season 1 of this year, better than the previous one. So GSL is really cleaning up.
Yeah, 3rd time's the charm, Tasteless.
That will be our 3rd season, Artosis.
It's like season number 25 of GSL or something. It's just like...
How many GSLs have we done now? Just Code S is not Hot 6 Cups.
Oh, I don't know. 20-ish?
20-ish?
Yeah.
Somebody who knows, let us know.
I think it's about 20.
Total. We've been doing this for 4.5 years now.
Yeah, which means we've had like 4.5 Hot 6 Cups. So it's like, yeah, something like that. I don't know. But anyways, as you see, guys, we did on Wednesday have the other side of the bracket. The BL parting match really wasn't that good. Kind of a jobbery series, unfortunately. Don't bother watching it.
Yeah, that was one of the bumpiest series we've ever seen. Parting, probably the worst games of his career.
Yeah, but SOS Myungchik was actually pretty good, even though it says 3-0 there. Myungchik put up quite a fight, and then SOS just kind of used his calm and his experience to win.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was a pretty good match.
SOS, he definitely made some mistakes there, but at the same time, he wasn't. He was definitely the one that was clutch the whole way through.
Yeah. So SOS BL, that is a pretty sick round of 4 match, to be honest. It's like basically second best Zerg in the world going up against SOS, who is always considered one of the best players out there, one of the scariest players out there. And on this side of the bracket, obviously we're getting a Zerg through, so that's pretty cool. So that's 2 Zergs in the round of 4. That's pretty imbalanced.
Yeah.
네, 무결점입니다. 정윤종 완벽해요.
나서는 두 선수 모두 자유의 날개 시절부터 꾸준하게 달려온 분들이라고 할 수 있는데요. 정말 오랜만에 코드 S 4강에
Both
도전하는
players
두 선수
solid
바로
since
만나보겠습니다.
the days of Wings of Liberty, and they're still doing well now here today
안녕하세요.
in Heart of the Swarm.
조선주 선수 오늘 컨디션 좋으세요?
How's your condition today?
나빠요.
My condition's not that good, but it's not bad. I guess it's so-so.
오늘 밥 많이 먹고 오셨어요?
네, 오기 전에 먹어서
Did you eat well today?
힘이
Yeah,
나는
I had a good meal right before I came here, so I'm not hungry like I was in the round of 16.
네, 자 오늘 이 두 선수의 대결 미리 보는 결승전 느낌마저 드는데요. 조선주 선수 상대가
A lot of fans are saying this might have been the finals of the season had you guys not met here in the round of 8.
이 정도면 극찬이라는 생각이 드는데 어떠세요?
제가 그 정도는 아닌 것 같은데 너무 띄워주셔서
네.
좀 감사해요.
People are saying that you're the fourth race in StarCraft because you're so good. And he says, well, I don't think I'm that good, but I just want to say thank you to the fans who are saying that about me.
덕이다. 그럼 오늘 이길 자신 어떤지?
He said Rain is like a wall to him.
노력해야 될 것 같아요.
네, 역시
I think I'm going to lose today, but I'm going to have to do my best to try to
자,
overcome Rain.
정윤종 선수는 상대를 인정한 만큼 준비를 잘해야겠다 말씀하셨습니다. 그때 도와주셨던 분들이 느낌이 거의 드림팀.
You said Maru was a very good player, and
이번에도
you're going to prepare
도와주셨어요.
very hard for today's match.
이번에는
Did a lot of your friends help you practice today?
근데 이삭이도 경기가 있어가지고 사실
네.
이삭이한테는 조언을 못 구하고
Parting also had a match to prepare for, so Parting wasn't able to help me,
저 충분히
but Fantasy and Flash
그러긴 한데
helped me practice and prepare for this.
성주는 또 테란이 아니기 때문에
네.
또 일단 첫 번째 경기를 해봐야
And he's saying Maru's just not a Terran player.
테란이 아니네요.
He's more like a fourth race,
네,
as we were
사실
saying.
정윤종 선수 제
So
사회적
practicing with Terran players doesn't really help to prepare against somebody like Maru.
테란이 계속 잡고 오셨어요.
네.
지금 테란 조선주 선수 혼자 남게 하는데 1등 공신이시거든요.
네.
자신 있으세요?
You eliminated a lot of
솔직히
Terran players throughout the
자신
tournament.
있는
Are you
거는
confident against Maru?
아니었는데 지금 현재는 다른 동격전에 더 자신 있는데
네.
모르겠어요. 대회에서는 잘 풀려가지고
I'm more
여기까지
confident against
왔는데
Protoss players and Zerg players, actually. I did have some luck playing against Terran players this season.
오늘
And
모르겠어요.
I-
경기가 어떻게 될지 저도 몰라가지고
네.
I believe he said I missed the best
No,
Terran today?
he's against the best.
Oh, and he's against the best
He's
Terran
not
today.
sure how the
Excuse me.
match
He's
네,
not sure how the
그러고
match will
보니까
go.
제가 이 두 선수
Sometimes
모두
Terrace is
자신의 경기
free
40점이다, 55점이다 이렇게 아주 박한 점수를 주는 분들이라는 걸 깜빡하고 있었는데요. 자, 두 선수 참 멋진 대결인 것
Maru always
같습니다.
gives
2년
himself
전
low score
결승에서
points
만났던 상대이기도
when he
한데
evaluates
그때
his matches.
기억나시죠?
네.
네. 참 오랜만에 이렇게 중요한 무대에서 만나게 됐는데 그때랑 혹시 느낌
And you
다른가요?
guys also met in the finals way back when. Do you remember that?
그래요. 정윤종 선수는 어떠세요? 상대 좀
Says, yeah, I think
뭐
so.
성주도 그때도 잘했었고
And he says, yeah, I have a similar feeling that I had at the finals back
지금
then.
더 잘하기 때문에 뭐
He was good back then, but he's obviously better now.
전 이미 다 까먹었어.
네.
And that was just too far ago. So I'm trying to forget about them now and just going today with a clean slate.
어떤 경기력 보여주실지 궁금한데 자 마지막으로 서로에게 강력한 한마디씩 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저
Final comments to your
조선주
opponent,
선수가
starting with you, Maru.
테란 다 떨어뜨리고 오셨는데 저한테 좀 져주셨으면
So you eliminated all the Terrans. I'm the only one
저달래요,
left.
조선주
So
선수가.
please lose to me so I can
화답해
advance.
주시죠.
And you, Rain?
성주는 그래도 아직
오케이.
앞날이 창창하기 때문에 전 좀 늙어가지고
Maru is a very young player. He's got a bright future.
네,
I'm an older player than him. I have less
이렇게
time in my pro gaming career, so I hope
자,
Maru
이제
lets me win
본격적으로
today,
경기
and I can
시작해보겠습니다.
advance.
이두 선수의 데이터부터 확인해
And that
보시죠.
will do it for our interview, Artosis.
That is correct, Tasteless.
We're getting close to starting this match, my friend. TvP. Interesting to see that Maru feels less confident against Rain.
Well, Rain is a scary Protoss.
He
Like, this
is.
guy is the one that will deflect everything perfectly and then kill you because you tried to hurt him.
He is the wax on, wax off
Yeah.
karate kid defense.
Rain has a very
Protoss. The drops aren't going to
specific
do anything.
set of skills, Tasteless.
Yeah.
And he will find your drops and he will kill them.
Oh yes.
But I mean, this is just a great match. You do not get a match like this every day. This is a best of 5. I'm just completely stoked. I have no idea who's actually going to win this.
Yeah, we'll have to see how game 1 goes. It probably will be a standard game, so like we were saying earlier, there should not be as many cheeses in this series. Neither of these guys are
You really don't
necessarily. I think there won't be very many.
I almost think that they have to prepare a little bit differently for each other. I think that Rain is going to try some proxy Oracle shenanigans.
Do you think that there's any chance that Maru will do anything like that?
Maru generally mixes in a little bit of cheese, so I imagine that we'll see something a bit cheesy, but I think overall he should probably play his regular style. Like, I want to see him make a bunch of Marauders and try to kill Rain with that. You know?
That would be nice to see.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough. I think after game one, we'll have a much better idea of how they're going to play. Again, Maru guy is considered the fourth race, so even Rain was saying in an interview, even preparing with people like Flash, he doesn't really feel like he's entirely comfortable against somebody like Maru because Maru just plays so differently. And then Rain, when you get a Protoss, and by the way, Protoss traditionally were not all the way back to pre-Brood War. It was not the conservative Protosses that were usually dominant. So Rain is sort of an oddball Protoss who's had a lot of success here. Somebody who's just always defended, always macroed up. Who do you even go to?
It's
to practice for this. There's really not anything out there.
Probably Younghua. If he's friends with Younghua, that's going to be the closest approximation you can get to Rain, I would say.
But I think Younghua is such a different tier.
Yeah, he's
that I don't know how that helps.
I have no doubt of that. But like, if you're going to practice straight up macro play, that's who you want, because the way to kill Younghua is like you can peel. He's like Flash kind of, where it's like, okay, you're a little bit too predictable, so you can die. So like, I think practicing against him would be fine. But I want to go back to what you said before.
Yeah.
You were saying like how the fourth race of Maru, like people are calling it fourth race. That actually has a long history in StarCraft II.
Yeah.
The first player in Korea that they called the fourth race was Hydra. This is actually a fact.
Yeah.
And within 1 month, Fruit Dealer rose up and everyone just gave him fourth race terminology. So not many people remember that, but Hydra Zerg was so much better than everyone else's.
I mean, if you want to go back even further in the days of Warcraft 3, Moon was the fifth race. So it's been a term we've seen a lot, is when you get somebody who's just so different and so dominant that
just
it's
can
not
do
like
things with the race that other players can't do. It's really cool, and you know what? He's deserving of it. He really is different. He really does stand out.
My God, look at how many times Maru has beaten Zest.
Look at who he's against here. God, it's just crazy, man. Like, look at those names. Like, Young Chick is on there multiple times. Zest
is on there
Stats,
3 times. Stats
like,
twice.
These are basically some of the very best Protosses in the entire world, and he beats them, man. It's pretty impressive stuff. Well, you actually said something awesome about Rain, too. Right after you said about Maru being the fourth race, you said, I can't remember, but I had something great to say about what you
Rain,
said.
just traditionally Protoss is... we're doing a lot more aggressive stuff.
Oh, yes.
Rain is the guy who plays Protoss like it's Brood War Terran.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is, it is closer to Brood War Terran than Terran in StarCraft 2 is.
Yeah, that's
Being
true.
a Terran player, this is why I don't play Terran in this game, is because of Maru's favorite unit, the Marauder, and the fact that it plays as aggressive.
A lot of people might not know that Artosis was a Terran player in Brood War.
Yeah, a very macro-oriented defensive type of player, mix and cheese, of course. But like, and that's something I want to bring up here, because that actually has a history in StarCraft 2, because Protoss can be played extremely defensively, like a turtley macro race.
Yeah.
The reason I think why Rain was the one that kind of popularized it, like Younghua was doing before Rain switched over and stuff, but like wasn't as good. I think a lot of the reason why so many Protosses are aggressive and people are frustrated with Protosses are actually because MC was the best Protoss in the world for so long, and he just naturally is a very aggressive Protoss.
And he's actually quite the opposite of Rain, but I think MC, you're right, he set the standard, and so we saw a lot of Protosses be really aggressive.
Like the best. Like, MC kind of figured out strong ways to play the race before other players, so people were like, okay, I'm going to play like MC, and Rain came along with that defensive macro style that is absolutely a viable style. It's just very difficult to play in this way.
Game number 1 is going to be on Bonnie Research Station. The map is now loading up. Maru against Rain here in this best of 5. The winner is going to get that 3rd spot there in the Final 4 for the GSL Code S. Again, only 3 GSL Code S's a year. I mean, this is really... It's fought over a lot. There's not a lot of opportunities like this.
Yeah, if you play in GSL Code S for 100 years and get the Nesty award, you only have 300 chances.
The game is now loaded up, so let's get ready for Maru against Rain in our first best of 5 here in the GSL Code S. In the bottom center in the red, he is
GNL Green Wings Maru.
The best Terran.
Ever.
What about Flash?
In the north, in the blue, he is
My Insanity Rain.
the best Protoss.
Defensively.
Yes.
Can't call him the best Protoss in the world at this moment. He has been multiple times, though. And maybe he is the best at this moment. The thing is, we don't get to see quite as many games of his in Korea being on My Insanity. It's a little bit harder to see him. Like, the thing is, you like Hero, for instance. That guy's playing Pro League every week. He's in both leagues. It's like, okay, I mean, we get to see so many Hero games. It's really easy to look at this and be like, okay, this guy's the best Protoss. But Rain is playing this season in GSL like he might be the best Protoss again. That would be like, I mean, Rain is, he's just so damn good. Like, I remember when the Kespa guys switched over, everyone was talking about Solki in Korea. They were like, okay, Solki's the best Kespa player, and he's the guy that is going to surprise everyone and like kill all the non-Kespa players and stuff like that. And well, that kind of came true eventually, but right out the gate, Rain was the strongest player.
Thank you for coming down to the show. We actually got a lot of people down here today, considering what's been happening in Korea lately.
Yeah.
Well, the murder's concern and stuff. So thank you guys so much for coming down here. And it's going to be a good day. I'm just really curious how mid-game and late-game is going to turn out for these guys.
Yeah, I'm curious about all of it.
I'm sorry, I got to stop this for just a second. I'm having some audio problems. It's actually too loud in my ear. Do we know which one of these knobs?
This one is yours.
This one right there? Thank you. Okay.
And as you guys, of course,
better.
know, Tasis and I are responsible for absolutely everything.
When the game started, I'm like,
screwed with
wow,
my
this
knobs.
is,
Actually,
yeah,
I was talking.
While you were talking, I went to the wrong knob, and I just started. You probably couldn't hear yourself talking anymore. So we got that fixed. Okay, my audio levels are good now. Anyways, into this match here, we have a Nexus and a Command Center starting at the same time.
Yeah, these are the standard builds from both sides. Can't get much more standard than that, Tasteless.
Now, in this map, Harass is incredibly strong. So I do wonder if just the way that these two play, I would think Maru would have be more the initiator for aggression. So he might end up with a little bit of a lead here in the mid game. The reason why it's good for Harass is because you have this one base that's it's like a pocket base, a backyard expansion. You can only get there through the main, so that makes drops pretty handy. Plus, the distance between the third base and your second base is obviously pretty far.
Yeah.
The main, clearly very droppable. So, Terran Harass, if done right, could be pretty effective.
It absolutely can be, and as you say, this map can be a good one for it. I'm totally stoked that this is the first map. By the way, you know how sometimes we talk about hiding in plain sight and stuff like that?
Yep.
And how that can be really tricky? Rain just did a scout like that. He just sent his probe directly down where if Maru just sends his Reaper directly up, it kills it. But he's like, no, Maru will be on the map with his Reaper like a good boy, like a smart player.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
I like it.
Okay, so the Reaper was killed off. Maybe a little bit of an unnecessary loss there. He could have probably pulled the Reaper out and not gone for the probe.
Yeah.
But he did want to get that scouting done. He did see that Stargate was warping in, which, by the way, is about to finish.
That's really, really, really important. We'll see if he can prevent all Oracle damage. Even if you do, you can be okay going Oracle still. Oh, a Phoenix. Excellent. That's really cool. But he did scout, the fact that this is a tech build from Maru, and now that his Stargate actually got scouted, the Oracle he might consider that a waste and say, you know what, I'll just get Phoenixes and crush his drops.
And you know what, Artosis? I think the Phoenix play is going to be smart because, like we were saying earlier, drop play is so strong here. The Phoenixes just hard counter that.
Yeah. It really does.
And I mean, really, before this map even loaded up, I think there was no question that Maru's probably going to be abusing drops a lot here. So going for Phoenixes like this just sort of pushes that out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, and Maru actually does more Widowmine drops than any other Terran in the world. Like, he actually will drop Widowmines all game long, even against mass Phoenixes. He's had some crazy games in Pro League where he's like, okay, I'll drop 16 Widowmines in a row. And then, none of them got any probe kills, and he still won. It was just,
it's pretty crazy,
crazy stuff, man. So
pretty cray-cray.
Rain is really prepared for this.
Okay, well, this is a pretty serious drop. There's 4 Widow Mines in here. He has 3 Phoenixes right now. I guess it's all going to come down to, who does damage to what. There's also 3 Stalkers here, so he could probably get this medevac no problem.
Yeah, the medevac should be going down. It's just, will the mines get many kills? Oh, he's going to lift. Oh, and he does lift. Okay. 4 probes and a Stalker is what killed here?
Yeah, I believe so. And it looks like he is going to get nice pickup there.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Okay. So 4 probes and a Stalker. He gets the medevac, and he's basically cleaning up the mines. Yeah, I think that was good defense.
Yeah, nicely done there. It was definitely a drop that I think could have done more damage had Rain not been so on top of picking up those Widow Mines. If you notice, he didn't even gun down the first Widow Mine that was trying to pro. It got the 6 Stalker shots total off on it, and then he actually moved him out of the way and still lost a very small number of units. Do we know how many probes were in fact killed there, Artosis?
Just a moment ago, you mean?
Yes, just a moment ago.
It looks like just one. Yeah, he's only lost a total of 5 probes this game, so...
Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job on the defense so far. And as you can see, another medevac is up on the map.
Again, you have to question if this is a good idea for Maru. With Phoenixes out on the map, is the Widow Mine drop play really going to be that effective? Well, it does look like he's found a chink in the armor. There's not much to defend up here as he's going to drop in the worker line now.
Yeah, well, it's going to get... What is that going to hit? Okay, just like a single probe.
Okay, so Maru is actually at a loss right now. He has lost 2 medevacs now. I believe 7 Widow Mines.
Yeah, it should be 7 as soon as he kills this one. But Rain doesn't have any detection. Okay, there you go.
Yep, there he is.
It's coming up. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, like this is something that Maru will do. Even if you have Phoenixes, he just keeps dropping Widow Mines on you all game. And it kind of does keep you back. It's almost like when you see late game where Terran will just send medevacs everywhere when they have a bunch of mutas. It's like, yes, the mutas will kill all this, but guess what? The mutas aren't in my base. So,
oh my gosh!
But at this point, it's getting like,
okay. He is feeding pretty hard here, Artosis.
He's feeding some.
We can use some MOBA terms here. He's feeding pretty hard.
I believe that is a hero brawler term, Tasis. Well, look, Maru knows what he's doing, though. One of the most impressive games I ever saw was him versus Myungshik on Deadwing, where he looked exactly like this, and then Maru killed him anyways. It was like, well, you don't have as many ground use if you make Phoenixes, right? So, bam, done.
Well, he's coming up now. It looks like initially he was going to target down the Nexus, and then he backed off. And then goes for the Colossus, and then he backs off from that as well. So, pretty bad targeting here from Maru. In fact, I have to say, I thought this game was going to look a little bit closer. This has been incredibly one-sided.
Yeah, it really does look one-sided right now.
I mean, granted, Maru, yes, he's about to get his base up. He's not lost the game yet. Rain is just, everything is bouncing off of this guy.
Yeah,
we have yet to have an attack just stick and do the damage it needs to do.
I still say this is not even close over. I think Maru still has a decent shot at winning this, but I love the cannons that Rain is making. Yep. He hasn't lost his Colossi yet, which is really, really important. There goes one Colossi. Here goes a second Colossi.
And now he's going to have to back out.
Guess what?
Of course, the Phoenixes are going to cause a real problem here with that.
Good split.
Yeah, very nice splitting.
But you know the one thing, like even though he's like crushing a lot of this, Marauders are a lot easier to make than Colossi.
They are.
So that's like the one thing where it's like, I know that Maru still knows how to win this game.
So I want to expand off what you said there, because Protoss have to have a very balanced army. You got to have the Colossi in there. You have to have a number of sentries, a number of stalkers, enough zealots to soak up damage. You need observers like what we just saw lost there. The Terran army is simpler to make. And so if you lose chunks of that, you just remake it. But for instance, losing a Robotech unit, that's really bad. Losing a bunch of sentries, that's too much gas.
Well, right now you actually get some great lifts on these Phoenixes, some good lifts and force fields here by Rain. And even with just one Colossi there, holds on, backs up to his cannons. Good play. Rain is starting to tighten up his defense a little bit, and he needs to, because Maru does have like complete map control here.
Yeah,
You know?
he really does.
Even though he's like, throwing away a lot of drops and medevacs.
This is the game that Rain wanted to play, though.
Yes,
this
I
is
think
this
so.
is exactly how Rain probably envisioned this game going. Is he would be defensive and ultimately keep deflecting the attacks, come back and win, just push across the map and win. And these Phoenixes, by the way, really paying off. You do have to ask yourself if he would have done this build had the Stargate not been spotted, but I will say the Phoenixes are the core reason why Rain is in the shape that he's in right now in this game.
I think that Rain kind of studied the way that Maru plays in this situation and says, okay, you know what? Give me that situation. I can win that situation.
Yeah. So far, everything's gone according to Rain's plans.
The one thing...
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I was going to say, the one thing, it has, definitely, I agree with you on this, except losing maybe the 2 Colossus, but I think if he moves out before he's maxed, Maru will probably still kill him. Like, he's got to be really careful. So look at this. Maru with a lot of power going to this back natural.
And with the drop coming in over here and one in the back, this might be the moment where Maru actually can do that damage he wants to do. The Nexus is being targeted down. Only 4 Stalkers and a Colossus with some Phoenixes here to defend. The Nexus goes down. There's a pickup, but was that a mistake? We'll see how many medevacs actually managed to get out of here in one piece.
Oh, well, he actually turns around with those medevacs. He could have still chased, but Rain probably doing a lot right now. That was definitely a little mistake. Getting 2 more medevacs would have been great. But
oh, you mean the Phoenix is turning around?
Yeah, the Phoenix is turning around, I think, is a mistake. I think, no, the medevac should have sat there and just died. But yeah, this is, it's a little bit crazy. Look at how well Maru is doing. Like, he's just sacrificing units over and over. He's almost like a Zerg player, He's like a Zerg from StarCraft 1. He's like, all right, here's another wave.
Yeah.
Did a little bit of damage. I have the map.
Well, there have been some blows exchanged here. Rain still with a good unit comp. Now, there's only 6 medevacs out here. There should be actually a lot more, but these Phoenixes are getting so many good pickoffs like the one we just saw there.
Yeah. Yeah, man, only 5 medevacs. It's but 27 Marauders, that's pretty scary. There are 4 Colossi out, and Rain is going to have 2-2 here. So that's a pretty big deal. And of course, Maru will have 2-2 as well, but the fact that he's keeping up on upgrades, very, very important. Adding some Archons in here for tanking.
Oh, gotta be careful with that Colossus over there near the top. You saw some pickups. The Colossus actually manages to get away, which is gonna turn the tide of that battle.
That's pretty huge that Colossus got away for sure.
With Thermal Lance done here, the reach is just gonna be so good for these Colossus.
Dude,
Colossus, potato.
Even scans to kill the Observer there. That's great. But right now, Rain decided to move out against Maru a little bit. Maru just absolutely rabid this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking pretty scary. By the way, Maru's supply has surpassed Rain, despite the fact that the majority of the battles Rain came out on top of. Maru is just back home producing, and this is this 4th race quality that we're seeing here from Maru.
Yeah, he's so different from every other Terran. Oh, nice scan. Sees those Phoenixes coming to intercept. That would have been a huge interception as well. Maru has taken his 4th base, by the way. And Rain, not quite yet. He's still got to be very careful. He's starting to lay out cannons, leaving Zealots in his main. He's trying to, his Observer count is only at 2 right now, so he's actually even having a hard time getting mines and scouting positions. Well,
I mean, the Robo pickoffs have been good. He's got the right number of Colossi shot down. Why are we suddenly having a hard time with this? Colossus.
It's definitely not we. It's definitely just you.
So, as we could see there, earlier, he just took out each of these Robo units quite quickly. And because of that, yeah, right, the Observer count's lower. The Colossus count is lower. And I think that's one of the reasons why we haven't seen Rain actually be able to push back here.
Ooh, this could be a big move right here, Tesos. Maru is so active on this map. What does he have at home to actually prevent this huge warping of Zealots? That is really nice.
Now he's going to be giving Maru a taste of his own medicine here, as he's going to go ahead and just hit these workers. And then, this is going to really force Maru to not have presence here on the middle of the map. He might be able to push out a little bit. Although, I guess he does have presence here. He hasn't responded to this just yet.
Well, he's bringing back some medevacs of units, just enough to deal with this, because he needs to keep that map presence out there and try to snipe any Rain units that are possible. Well, we do have Psystorm on the way. He is going to have 3-3 Rain, that is. Maru does have his on the way as well, getting a Dark Shrine. Of course, DT harassment can be quite nice as well.
Yeah, well, especially with Terrans on this many bases. That's where it gets very tough to keep up with all the detection. You can always hide a DT here or there. We do have 4 Ghosts coming out. Do you think there is a chance we'll have an SCV pull?
Yeah, there is a chance. There's definitely a
could be.
chance. Like, he's even making Vikings, which he normally doesn't do, but he hasn't picked off all the Colossi. Like, he's picked off 2 this game and damaged a bunch. So if he goes in with like 8 to 12 Vikings, he will just rip those Colossus apart because a lot of them are actually very low on health. So, I mean, the SCV pull would not be that bad, I think.
Yeah, especially if he gets another good engagement and then he just follows that up. And we got a drop coming up over here to the upper right. 3-3 now finishing for the Protoss.
We got these
but this
cannons.
is enough. And with the Templars here, the feedbacks are going to be just too strong. So really, Rain is going to be the guy who can initiate the harass. We can even see when the drop comes in here and there's not enough SCVs to kill, he goes right for the turrets. Always a chance. Protoss can't remake that as quickly. Oh,
This is such a big move. That is a lot of High Templars being taken out. That was like 6 High Templars.
Yeah, and there's still 4 Marauders left, so they're going to get this Archon.
Oh, man, that is so painful for Rain. That is a lot of gas going down. So many Marauders out. He can fly over and kill the Marines.
So, yeah, I mean, the Phoenix harass has just been so good here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a really fantastic job. But I think both these guys are just playing phenomenally tasteless. It's really, really impressive stuff.
This is actually exactly what we were hoping for.
They're playing exactly like them.
Yeah, there's no tricks, no gimmicks, no aces up the sleeve here. They're just going to go with what they've been known to do. And we're really seeing this actually pan out here with, you know, the defensive Protoss who gets to the end game, with the in-your-face harass Terran, who just gets bigger and scarier as the game goes on.
Well, now we do have some Psy Storms coming down right now. Some pretty decent ones so far, really bruising everything. Backing up into his cannons, into more High Templars. Oh, a nice Psy Storm, and EMP does go off on 3 High Templars there. But he got a good Psy Storm off of it. Looks like right now these Colossi trying to get some damage on those Vikings, picking them off so quickly as previously mentioned. More Zealots being warped in as well.
You know, it's crazy because this bio ball is so big here for Maru, but I guess Rain did have enough to actually shove that back. I mean, there's so much girth with that, as you saw coming forward. I'm thinking, how many Colossus lasers are it going to take to shave this down to an amount that Protoss can handle? But I mean, he was able to do it. Nicely done. Supplies locked right now, 146 to 146.
This is a good match.
Are we actually going to see an expansion in the center? Is that a CC
going
on over there?
Yeah.
Have we ever had a game where Terran got an expansion there in a PvT? I think we have never done
PvT, no.
Yeah, we have never had that.
Not one that I remember.
Yeah, not one that I casted at least. But we're actually we've got them both be so solid throughout this game that, you know, Maru's one more expansion away from then having all the expansions on his side of the map taken.
Yeah.
There's only one expansion that is shared by the 2 teams, and that's there in the center left.
Well, this is the Rain doing a fantastic job with this Warp Prism as well, Tasteless. Sending a DT over here, this is great.
Yeah, just wants to get some picks on these SCVs here.
Yeah.
And this is really how you punish a Terran. The more spread out a Terran is, the harder it is to defend. Terran, when you're on, 2 bases, it's oftentimes when you don't see Terrans ever die just on 2 bases. It's pretty hard to break them.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you get them on 4 or 5,
it's hard for Terran
really
to defend everywhere, even with planetary fortresses and missile turrets and stuff.
It's bunkers and everything else.
It can be very difficult, especially since you can warp in all around the place, like instant unit production across the map.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's difficult because you kind of need to keep your army together in case they actually hit with their full army. So.
Okay, well, he's coming down now. Some nice storms here. I don't know if Rain should push it any further than this, though.
He's trying to get him come into this choke right now. Maru is starting to come into it. Great Psy Storms, just dragging him through Psy Storms right now.
You can really see the indifference there from Maru. Just going to go ahead and push forward here. I think this is too many Colossi.
Yeah, I'm getting chills, Stasis. This is fantastic done by Rain. But look at Maru. Just so many units with 3-3. Spraying them out, stimming. Rain is going to have to pull back here.
Yeah, when you just get Stalkers and Zealots, they do end up losing to Marine Marauder in this phase of the game. So, I mean, obviously, as long as there are medevacs there. So in that fight, he did have to back off from. Rain going to go back and remake. Eventually, though, Rain will have to expand, and Maru will have to try to get that expansion up again, the one that was pushed away, the 5th base.
Look at this. The supplies keep lining up as well, Tasteless. Like, everything is looking fantastic. Maru staying 1 base up a good portion of the game. I am loving it, but Rain continuing to try to harass in this late game, just making the most efficient units he possibly can for that.
He really is. Good save there. He's going to have to go ahead and repair that command center.
Dude, this game is why I love StarCraft. This is like
Yeah,
this
well,
is why it's the best game in the world.
This is the classic StarCraft that you love to see. A lot of games are timings, a lot of games are rushes. We have base trades, but this is like proper StarCraft 2, gone into the late game. Neither player can kill the other one. I do love Rain's harass, though. I think over time, Rain's harass may chisel down whatever's going to be left of Maru.
That's exactly what's happening.
How many times have we seen this command center lifted over here? The DTs have gotten so many pickoffs on SCVs. Worker count is actually 46 for Maru, 63 for Rain.
Well, Rain moving down right now. It looks like he may want to do an attack here.
If he pokes in there, that command center is low enough.
Yeah,
he could just
pick
die.
that off.
He could just kill it.
You're very right about that.
And it's gone. That's it.
Well, he is coming down. He has a lot of high Templars here. If he gets nice on top. Ooh, a lot of really good EMPs right there. He's got to be careful. He does get that command center, though, but he's kind of bleeding into Maru's army. I think his army may be big enough to just be okay with that.
Yeah, he's got enough Colossi out here.
I think he might want to even... Okay, there's the warp, and that's good.
And from here, he might even want to go for the kill move right now.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, there were a lot of workers killed back there, so it's now down to 26 to 63. Rain is looking fantastic.
Ooh, does he need to pull back here? This is actually really hard to tell. Maru's spread is very good.
The low Viking count is the problem here. If he keeps microing properly, he could do a lot of extra damage here. But as I say that,
those are
Maru
Marauders, man.
Marauders? He's got too many Marauders, man.
Yeah, they're different than Marauders.
Yeah.
He's got a different...
Marauders, much scarier. Their stim is endless.
Yeah. They do more damage. They have 9 range. It's so sick.
Yeah. They take up less space in medevacs, everything. Well, even with Marauders there, he's still pushing forward. I believe with Mules being dropped down here.
This is the right move.
With Marules being dropped down here, he is going to be mining out quick enough. He has to get a 5th base. I think Rain can prevent that from happening.
Rain is pulling the its. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I love seeing probes pulled against Terran, man.
Yeah.
And it looks like we may hit a base trade scenario going on here.
Yeah.
Oh, God. In control pylon. 3 cannons unpowered. Ouch.
This is a game that Rain should just win. Yes, they're both trading bases. The supplies, however, are so different.
Yeah.
Rain is in such a lead. He can destroy the building so much more quickly. He could pretty much come in here, do fatal damage, and then come back, save his base, expand, and Maru is going to be, out. There's really no way to recover. By the way, great game here for game number 1.
Absolutely awesome,
what a treat it is to cast this. We don't really have games like this as much anymore.
No,
TDZs are a bit more like this, but
this is a dream come true for game number 1. It doesn't even matter what happens in the rest of the series, really, because, StarCraft is like, there's a lot of science behind it, a lot of knowledge that you have to have, but it's also like art. Like, these two players actually just express themselves through this game. We just saw the aggression of Maru and the willingness to sacrifice things and be all over the map. Then we saw Rain with his defensive style, and it was just this beautiful clash of these two players really showing what they're all about. Just fantastic.
This was a game where there was not one strategy that won, which a lot of times it is, or one engagement. It was countless little things that occurred over time. Now, let's keep watching this battle here because he's regrouped a bit more of his army. He's floating away. The minerals right now, it's at 500 here for Rain. It's at a little bit under 1,000 here for Maru. But Rain has no more Nexuses. He's got 17 probes. No, excuse me, 34 probes.
He does have enough money for a Nexus.
He does. Yeah, he has workers here. There's only 2 workers remaining here for Maru.
Yeah. One thing to mention is that there are still Phoenixes on the map, 4 of them, so floating buildings don't win. He'd need to pick those off and float to the corner, but even then we have enough money for a Nexus. Like, Rain probably saved that on purpose, just in case.
Well, you can see he's got his probes with his army here, so he's going to spot it with that Warp Prism. So Rain took a very interesting approach to this. He did not opt to go back and save his base. He instead has got his army there. As much of his base can be eliminated. Shouldn't really matter that much because eventually, if it comes to it, Rain just makes another Nexus. At the expansion, he starts over from square one with his big army defending it. And in theory, Rain should always win in a game like that because Maru is at 33 supply to the 99 here.
It's 3 times as much.
He's supply blocked here, and it's just there's just no way to recover really.
Yeah. It's Maru is like doing his best to be scrappy here. Like obviously he can heal his units. He's got a lot of mobility still, so like maybe he's thinking that over time he can get something done, but it's not the case.
Okay, losing this should trigger the GG here.
Yeah.
This is you can't really do much to come back without the medevacs. You can't outmaneuver an army like this. And of course you can't heal your stimmed units, whatever is remaining. Actually, 4 supply, yeah.
And that's
GG.
Yeah, he waits for because the 2 Vikings might be able to kill the 2 Phoenixes, but as soon as the Nexus starts, he's like, oh,
yeah, that's it.
Oops.
See, the one thing for Maru back there is he did not know how many minerals his opponent had, so he's thinking, man, maybe I can actually win in this base race. All I gotta do is snipe a few of your structures, or maybe, hell, I can even force a draw. But Maru, the moment he sees that Nexus, says, okay, that's it, checkmate.
Yeah, it's you can see his coach has a mask on because that game was so sick.
This has been a great day so far. Great game number 1. It was long, it was dramatic. We don't see a lot of those in PvT. PvT oftentimes ends at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, definitely. But these 2 are like so damn good. Now, I love that game so much. I still feel like this is probably a 3-1 one way or the other, and I'm not saying Rain yet, because Maru came very close to breaking him several times. Like, Rain was barely saving his Colossi, and when Maru just continually picks off Colossi when he comes across the map, that will snowball eventually and result in a victory for him. So, Rain barely holding on here. What a great game that was. Guys, go tell your friends. GSL Code S is on. Maru and Rain, 2 championship players going at it here in the round of 8.
You know, a lot of people are saying this could be the finals of a GSL. I can't really disagree with that, especially after that last game. Either of these 2, whoever wins here does have a very strong chance of moving on.
Oh, I think whoever wins here has a very good chance of winning the whole thing. Like, it's just...
I think you're right.
I mean, I think everyone would probably agree with that. It's these... Damn, these 2.
Next map is going to be at King Sejong Station. I'm even excited for this map specifically with these 2.
You know what I love about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the map, it's my favorite map ever, of course, but like Rain plays this map most of the time in PvT as the ultimate like defensive Protoss. Like he even takes the base that he has to break rocks down to as his 4th.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I love the way he plays this map. It's beautiful. He's like so defensive. Tries to just sit in arcs where you can never attack him.
You know, it's interesting though because this is a map that Maru could do very well on. You can harass pretty easily on this. The main is super droppable.
So droppable. There's so much airspace.
Yeah, I mean, there's so. Again, I mean, we saw how it went on Vani. This is a different map, different structure. But we got 2 players with 2 very specific play styles. So let's see what happens. The game's loaded up. Game number 2 here, Maru against Rain. In the bottom right in the red, he is
Gene Air Green Wings Maru.
And in the upper left here in the blue, he is
My Insanity Rain.
What is that on the My Insanity shirt? Is that
It's like a voodoo
doll?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a voodoo doll.
I almost forgot.
It's definitely a little doll.
I have a little voodoo doll of Artosis back in my house. I've been collecting your hairs after each broadcast.
Well, that must have been made pretty quickly then, huh?
We have gas now before barracks.
Yeah. That's interesting. Let's see what he wants to do with that. Just a very quick drop, it looks like. Could catch Rain off guard. We'll see. Yeah, man, this is... Oh, he's scouting that quickly. That's really good for Rain.
Yeah, this is a smart move here from Rain to send that probe out. You know, Rain is one of those players who might not send a probe out early either.
Yeah.
He's somebody who...
His builds are really tight. So.
Yeah, so a lot of times he doesn't scout really at all.
Like if he scouts after Nexus here, like in the previous game, this is much more likely to damage.
Living the dream. Oh, excellent. We We
Sick.
bumped into that gentleman on the way to the restroom.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was one of the more unique experiences.
Together.
Yeah, yeah. You got to see Tasteless P. A lot of people get to see that at GSL, so, you know.
He got to hear
You got to see
the trickle off the side of the urinal wall.
Yeah. Not everybody gets that, so, but no, it's good to have all you guys down here. And you guys are always welcome here at our studio.
That's right. It's a lot of fun down here.
It is.
And especially when you get a day like today with the great games. That's a little bit sad because, like, on Wednesday, it really wasn't that great, which I was expecting it to be like. I was expecting that day to be better than this one.
It's too bad because the season's been really good, but yeah, Wednesday, the first half of the round of 8, it was a bit of a hiccup, right? The epicness that's been the season so far.
God, a hiccup. You're being kind. I think it was more of a burp.
It was, oh, hold up. Did he send that probe down there for nefarious purposes, Artosis?
Ooh, nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so because he saw a factory this quickly. Like, he could proxy something like a Stargate and
Yeah,
but that would turn into the sloppiest game ever. And I don't think you want to play a sloppy game against Maru. I think that's just for scouting.
Top 5 things you don't want to do against Maru is play a sloppy game.
You know, only like Parting and SOS can keep up with Maru in a sloppy game. Or Life. You know, those are like the players.
Yeah, or Life.
These are the players that can like just have everything go wrong against each other and put out like fantastic moves and ideas. And I don't think that is Rain's forte. I think he needs to keep his stuff intact at home.
Well, now we have what looks like just going to be a fast expanding Protoss against an aggressive Terran. When we get 2 players like this, that's where it gets really interesting. Because Rain is so good at defense, but Maru is so good at offense. So let's see what happens. Rain's fast expand is one of the. It can at times be unsafe.
Yeah,
but
the way he's trying to do it here. Okay, there you go. The second gateway being made. I think what we need to see from Rain is non-stop stalkers and an observer. And in fact, you know what he's going to?
That's exactly what he needs.
He's going to do a counterattack. As soon as he stops this, he's going to attack with 3-gate stalker and observer. He invented this in like 2013.
And this is a great way to punish somebody who does a drop, because especially if you're really good with the stalkers. Let's say you even gun down the medevac. Oh my God!
He'll just kill him.
He'll just come over there and kill you.
It's. If you can execute this just right, like if he doesn't take a lot of damage here, he literally will just go kill Maru. This is a risky build that Maru's done. He needs to find some damage. And even getting that pylon could be good.
Yeah, that would actually be really nice. Okay, now the Hellions are going to come up here.
Oh my God.
Oh, that
is a quick medevac kill.
That's what the first thing he had to do there.
He wanted that to go off so bad. This has been like a fantastic defense so far.
Yeah, this is actually perfect defense. And that other Hellion was shot down because, as we all know, the mothership, the Nexus cannon, I should say, has the range of a computer screen. So you can. It's tough from
I gotta get a bigger screen. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
I'm like sieging your base from my base.
Yeah, that's how I look at it when I'm playing the game. Is I'm like, well, that can at least shoot the length of my monitor. So try to stay away from it.
I like it.
If the guy triggers his Nexus cannon, I try to put it on my screen so it won't hit me. Well, this has gone exactly as planned here for Rain. So Rain should have a pretty good follow-up. Maru, this is, oh my God, this is so bad.
Oh,
okay, is he going to lose that?
Oh! He could have gotten that. Rain actually wasn't looking at stalkers when they first engaged.
Had he gotten that, I think the game was...
I think the game's still over. I think he just kills him
I think you might be right, but it was really over if he had gunned that down. Yeah. But Maru, realizing that he was in trouble, did send that medevac out to try to drop because he knew he was so behind. God, Rain is so good with his harass. Look at this.
He knows exactly what he's doing. This guy has StarCraft II pretty mapped out at the moment. Losing a decent amount of stalkers here, but hey, getting SCVs is huge at this point. And getting that bunker is huge as well.
That bunker is staying alive for a comically long amount of time. So he's going to probably... You know, he didn't actually reinforce this. Oh, never mind. There's a pylon at the bottom center. That probe was used for nefarious purposes after all.
It certainly was.
Oh, the observer, very important. Don't want to lose that. And the observer lives. Another observer also being made here. But I think he's going to be able to break this before the bunker can really get any utility in here. Whoa, miss micro.
Yeah, a little bit. But he's just doing so well with this. It's crazy. So much damage being put on Maru. And the thing is, like, why it looked like he wasn't reinforcing for a little bit is he was making probes non-stop during this to make sure that he could transition and like not be in a terrible spot if it didn't work. So like he hasn't completely killed Maru, but he's in quite a nice spot.
Yeah, it's 36 workers to 49, so it's a pretty substantial lead. We are just now going to hit the 10-minute marker, so that's see worker difference like that. It's pretty crazy.
I tell you, nothing makes me want to play StarCraft more than watching Rain just bop nerds that try to attack him early.
Yeah,
oh,
well, it's just impressive. Okay. Got to be careful there. Now, this is an empty medevac. This is a diversionary tactic because Maru is actually quite worried, and reasonably so, that Rain is going to keep attacking him. So he's trying to keep Rain back on that defense, and so he's faking that out with this medevac moving around here on the map. Rain already has a warp prism, and that means that there could be another moment where he could try to crack a 2-base Terran. You can actually come up there, warp in the main, and then attack the front, and a lot of Terrans will fall apart there.
What do you know about this medevac that has 2 siege tanks in it? He's actually like kind of going for like a 1-1-1 push a little bit. He's even making a Banshee right now, and he's adding 2 factories.
Uh-oh. Is he gonna go mech?
Oh, tasteless.
Somebody had their Mechios for breakfast.
Oh, man. I'm not going to be ready for game number 3,
Artosis
man.
needs a cigarette right now,
dude. Tasteless, can you go make me a sandwich, man? Like, I'm hungry suddenly, dude.
Well, hold up, though. He might not get that far into the mech phase here. He's pushing up at the front while Protoss is actually warping in back and home, and there's not a lot to defend here. There's also not really anything to shoot down the warp prism, so we can just keep making zealots back there. This looks like an old StarCraft 1 push. You'd see where the siege tanks are just in range. This push is going to go on forever.
God, please don't kill each other. Please don't kill each other. Please don't kill each other.
Oh, he needs to move that warp prism. It goes down.
All right, he'll be able to pick this all off. But you know what? Maru just lost 2 siege tanks for that. I think that was okay-ish.
It's quite bad if you're meching and you're losing those tanks.
Yeah,
so
that's
let's
true.
see.
That's true. Dude.
Let's see how this game goes. Maru opting to mech here. I don't know. How often do we see Maru mech? I don't feel like we see him that often meching, right?
No.
Right?
Against Protoss, you don't really. I mean, hardly anyone ever does against Protoss. Maru in general doesn't mech much.
Yeah.
This guy is a marauder type of guy.
Mech the most was probably Supernova throughout StarCraft II history, but yeah, seeing mech like this. Problem for me is that as much as you love mech Artosis, I don't think Rain will lose to it. I think Rain, this is actually making Rain's job way easier because now Rain doesn't have to defend against anything.
I see what you're saying.
This is really where Rain is just going to shine.
I acknowledge what you're saying, and I agree with it on a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
But mech, the one weird thing about mech is hardly anyone does it, and everyone does it a little bit differently. So sometimes it's hard to really judge exactly how to kill it.
Problem is,
and if Maru had gone into regular bio play after taking that much damage, I think Rain cleans him up easily. He knows exactly every move.
That's a fair point.
Because there's some ambiguity of how to kill him.
There's some moments where you get in a disadvantage and you go for a very weird style of play.
Yes.
And you can navigate it from there. And you'll beat a lot of people doing stuff like that. I mean, this is where you got a Corsair Reaver PvZ, which is not as good as playing standard PvZ, but it's also really weird and hard to deal with.
Yeah. If you don't have as much practice against something, that's going to be a better chance for him than just going bio and having Rain be like, well, I mean, I didn't hurt you at all last game and I beat your bio. You know?
Oh, man. Oh. Okay, this is just getting worse and worse and worse. My concern is that Protoss is, first of all, very easily going to max out before Terran. As much as Maru is looking good with this mech, I think a couple solid Immortals coming in at the right angles and hitting hard, or maybe he won't even need Immortals. I mean, Rain knows this better than anybody in the world. I think you could just break the Terran because they started out in a weird way. To switch from drop and have bio and then switch into mech, the amount of time that takes can actually just be too much.
I think you're probably right.
Mech in itself is good, but the problem with mech is getting there. Getting there is a tough spot, and since Rain's not missed a beat, he might be able to just crack.
He has a lot of siege tanks, and there are a lot of stalkers here.
A cage-free fresh farm egg here.
Those point defense drones doing pretty good for a moment here,
but it doesn't matter. There's just too many Colossi. I mean, when you look at it, the Colossus is like a siege tank that can walk in siege mode. So, I mean, the advantage most times siege tanks have against everything else is you can put them in a position where they can't be reached. 3 Colossi with some meat underneath to take damage.
Yeah.
You just walk over there and just gun down the tanks. There's not much you can do.
Now, here's a question, Tasteless. Did he plan to go mech on this map, or was this a reaction?
I think it was a reaction. I think you're right.
I think if it was a reaction, it was really smart. And
if he
what I
planned to do
want
it,
is
if
that
he
it was
planned to go
planned.
mech on this map, I think it was a really bad idea. Okay? If that was actually the build that he was coming in here with, but and he was like, well, I'm going to go for drops, then mech up, I would think, no way will you beat Rain doing that. But
well, I have to
if he
hold
got
out
behind
hope.
and he says, oh, okay, well, I'm kind of screwed, but let's make this a little bit weird. That's why, okay, this is why you could mech against Protoss in StarCraft 1. It's because the Colossus was not in the game.
I think it's more because Spider Mines were in the game.
Well, that as well, yeah. Spider Mines were in the game, and it also made it much tougher. But you look at a game like that, it's too difficult to position everything so perfectly that a Protoss can't break you. StarCraft 1, you could do it. It was tough, but you could make it so like Protoss cannot get in there.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the reason why you could mech in StarCraft 1 is because you couldn't bio because our Marines were worse.
Yes, this is true.
We didn't have medevacs.
There was nothing funnier than
and
watching
there was
somebody
no
go medic
Marauders. And yeah, it was like fighting off a grizzly bear with a popsicle stick while you're sitting in a wheelchair. It was pretty tough.
That's pretty accurate.
The best we could.
Let's think of what could counter the StarCraft 1 Marine with Protoss. So let me just go down the list here. Well, High Templars and Storm are good. There were Reavers. There was
Dragoons.
Dark Templars. There were Dragoons. There were, hold on. Oh, yeah, Zealots. Let me think again. Oh, Probes. So, yeah, there was not much else you could do there. So, what, we have piano music playing?
Yeah.
What happened? Why is there piano music playing in our studio? Okay, all right, never mind. We got normal music again on.
I recorded this track right before work today.
I was just like, what?
Pretty good crowd today, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of people down here.
Guys, let your friends know this is going on. This match is actually really awesome so far.
Yeah, it is.
We do have a ZVZ, an almost unexpected ZVZ coming up after this, so that should be fun as well.
I'm just going to listen to piano music play when we do this. Actually, not a bad song. BK really does pick the best music for this show.
Yeah.
Well, game number 3 is going to be on merry-go-round. Guys, this could be a 3-0. I think Maru really has to pull a rabbit out of his hat here if he's going to
I think he's
come
got
back.
this one. I think Rain's going to cheese, Maru's going to find it, and he's going to win.
All right, well, keep your fingers crossed. This game number 3 is loaded up as we are now in the second day of the round of 8 here at the GSL Code S. In the upper right, in the red, he needs to come back. He is.
Gene Green Wings Maru.
Whoa, towel under the mouse. Hold on, did you see that?
Yeah. I think that was just for his wrist. He always wears wrist.
Oh, I thought it was actually under. Okay, well, hold on. I'll talk about that in a second. In the bottom center, in the blue, he is.
My Insanity Rain.
He always has those like Nike things around his wrists. I think it's because it's just like a comfort thing, maybe, because he lays his wrists on the table.
When I saw that for a second, I thought he had his mouse on top of a cloth, and I'm like, well, that's why he's losing. My StarCraft game improved dramatically when I stopped, when I used a mouse pad and not construction paper. So
my mouse pad is actually a balloon animal. Sometimes it's really weird because I have different animals on different days.
No, guys, I was having a hard time getting into Masters, on the Korea server, and then my friend came over and said, well, Tasteless, you're using a trackball to play. And I said, oh, does not everybody use a trackball to play? Oh, okay. I guess it is my gear.
Trackball. Would never.
I remember, like everybody, at least
there was one player in
had
America that used a trackball.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was. He wasn't that good.
Oh,
but
okay.
He was like, everyone knew who he was, so he was at least good enough that people knew who he was. And he only map hacked for a little bit.
Dude, I can't even imagine using a trackball. Cyrax used a trackball?
Yeah. I played against him at the LAN. He had a trackball.
Did like people laugh at him? Like he showed up, guys. You got to remember there was a period where not everybody. You'd get some guy who would show up and he would actually have like one of these weird ergonomical keyboards that actually suck to use. It's like the keyboard was like split in half, and I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, this does
certainly not ergonomical for StarCraft.
Yeah, certainly not. That's a carpal tunnel machine right there. But no, wait. So wait, you went to a tournament and Cyrax showed up with the trackball.
Yeah.
Did people laugh? I mean, did people go, "Why the hell?"
Well, no, there was only like 3 good StarCraft players there, so we were just like, "Huh, that's weird."
Did you talk to him? Or you
yeah, he eventually switched to a mouse.
Like honestly, if like
to be honest,
if
looking back at his
like,
games, it became obvious that he used a trackball when I thought about it.
Because
micro like that.
When you I feel like in the future I want to be the writer for an esports comedy show, and like that's one of the stories I put in there is the guy who shows up to the LAN and he has a trackball and he just didn't know. He just had no idea that like, why on earth would you do something so foolish? This is like
someone shows up with his iPad and a power glove.
Yeah. It's like you meet a guy who's like a pretty high quality chef, but he like cuts while holding a baseball glove. Like he holds a knife with a baseball glove on or something, and you're like, what?
Oh my. Well, look at this game where 2 players are not using trackballs. We do have a command center first into 3 racks, and he gets a full scout on that. What? You know how important it is to see that your opponent with 3 barracks.
This
after
could not have gone worse for Maru.
Like that, Rain is not going to die to anything now.
By the way, this is an old build. This was Marine King's build. Well, he made a 4th barracks. I don't know. And then I guess.
Oh, I guess
it
he's going to do an attack with it.
Well, I was about to say it might not be the full Marine King build because I don't know if he is going to attack and try to push with it.
I don't.
When Marine King was doing this, the Nexus cannon didn't exist yet. So.
Yeah, it was much better then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he was going to. I think he was just like wants to make a bunch of units because he knows that Rain kills people with Blink all the time. So it's like, all right, just get the units out. If he tried to go into like factory drops, it's like he did the regular Widowmine drop timings in Game 1. Then he did the fastest possible in Game 2. Did either of those work? Hell no. And then, Game 3 is like, well, maybe I should cut it out on the drops because Rain literally doesn't care about the drops. He will just shut them down for days.
I'm actually a little bit curious about the build that Rain is choosing because of what Maru's doing. I don't know if this build is going to do anything. I feel like Rain is playing against a guy who was going to go fast drop, and really this might not even be the best build. Blink Stalkers against just mass barracks early?
Yeah, I think he just wants to get... Well, he's looking at you saying, okay, you can't kill me. I know that you have 3 barracks, so I'll just have enough Stalkers to whittle and a Nexus Cannon. So there's no way for you to drop in, so he's being really greedy. He's getting Blink, then Robo, 2 more gases before any gates, because there's no way for Maru to kill him.
He might also just look at this and be like, is he doing that build? Like, what? Like, Rain just comes in there and says, well, it doesn't matter what I do now. Yeah. He scouts him and he goes, he's laughing so hard, milk comes out of his nose.
It's like, if I know
he didn't even drink milk. Milk comes out for some reason. Yeah, I mean, he might just be thinking this is just not a viable build. Maru's build is basically good if you don't get spotted early.
Rain, the literal Protoss god, turns snot into milk.
Yeah. It's not quite as impressive as water into wine, but...
You can even blink over a river if it's small enough. And when his Zealots die, they come back to life as immortals.
Yeah, that's true. Not even on the 3rd day, man. They just come back. So, we have the Observers coming here. And, right now, Rain is doing a very safe, conservative build. One of the problems when you do a build like this as Terran is this... the medevac is late, excuse me. You have a late starport, so you don't really have a lot of areas you can threaten. Now, combine that fact with the fact that Protoss gets a Nexus Cannon. Is that tower just not making? Yeah, that's just, okay.
He was being really safe in case there was some shenanigans. Like
DTs, okay.
Yeah, Blink DT is a popular counter to CC first, so he was just kind of like, oh, I don't want to die to that. Was it? I appreciate that he does moves like that. Like that's a little thing that, like, when you have a bunch of little tiny things like that, that's one of the things that makes someone like Maru. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, I just, I lost a little bit of minerals from canceling that, but I don't actually need that, so I may as well have, 50, 60 minerals extra, whatever.
For a second, I thought that Observer was going to get through. That observer could have been the star in Jackass, man. Like, just takes the beating, runs right through the Marine.
You see those two observers just sitting there together?
Yep.
That was like some Watchmen stuff, like who observes the observers.
What they need to have is people who cast the casters casting. That's super meta.
Here's where
two
Tasus
guys
talks about
casting.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Tasus talking about the 80s too much in his cast, and like.
Here's where Artosis thinks his own
really
joke
like
is really funny.
Does Artosis really like mech that much? Is it a gimmick? That's what they're talking about right now. That's what we've gone sure meta. Sure meta.
No.
Well, Maru obviously can comfortably move out on the map. He did go for a lot of these barracks early on. Oh, did he not? Okay, he saw it. I was going to say, that could be pretty bad. Oh, but guess what?
There's another pylon.
There's another pylon there. And that is prime real estate there, my friend.
Yeah. Now, we should mention that this map is a bit Terran favored. It's hard to hold a third base here as Protoss. And Maru was like, he has taken 0 damage. He got a really great kind of greedy build to start. But Rain countered it with an appropriate amount of greed.
Oh wait, did he see that too? No.
Right now, I would give like a little slight edge to Maru as far as these build orders have gone, but it's not big enough to be like, well, he's just going to kill him. But this third base could be very difficult to hold when Maru gets rolling with his Marauders.
It is interesting. There were so many different responses that Rain could have had to this, and he just went with a very basic one. But we'll see how this game pans out. Rain is not really interested in anything fancy early game. Yeah. He pretty much wants to have about 3 or 4 Colossus in his army before he even starts to think about interesting plays.
Yeah.
In fact, in all honesty, in a lot of ways, Rain is a less interesting player than a lot of other players, I think, to most people, because it's just so standard what he's doing. He's just doing it so well.
Yeah, if by less interesting you mean way more interesting because he does that, then yeah, I agree with you.
Well, for me personally, I really enjoy the way he plays, but for a lot of people, they get used to someone like, let's say, Marine King, who just micro.
Yeah.
You get Parting, who just does all sorts of weird cheeses, but Rain really is this guy who just wants to play a normal StarCraft game. Yeah. And just try to stop all the stuff you're doing, and eventually he gets ahead and wins.
Well, it's like the safest way to play, and that's what I love about it, Tasteless. He doesn't want to take any risks. He knows he's better. Well, here we go. He's going to defend against this pretty well so far. A huge drop coming here from Maru on top of the Colossus. Good force field, so by Rain. Micros back one of those Colossus. Only lost 1 Colossus during this. Absolutely fantastic. Maru picks up, goes to the main base. Oh, man.
I mean, he made Maru's drop look like it was a car accident.
Yeah. That was awesome. Really great.
He just destroyed that so easily.
It was such a smart move by Maru, but Rain had brought the second piece of his army around. If he hadn't done that, if that second piece of army wasn't in position, Maru would have crushed Rain right there.
As you can see here, the Marauders doing fairly well against these Stalkers, but eventually the Medivacs do run out of energy. And look at this, he's going to gun down just a few more of those Medivacs. Nicely done. And I got to say, that could not have gone better there for Rain. Really.
No, it couldn't have.
Like, I mean, it was just, it's so funny because, you see these battles getting close to happening, and it can be tough to call, right? Because you don't know exactly where they're clicking at the time, but Rain just wrecked that. And now he's going to push forward here.
Ooh, it's a long attack route for him to get up there.
Where is the Mothership Core back at home? Where is that? I don't know.
Mothership Core is sitting in his main, but he doesn't have energy.
Oh, okay. Really? Is he just going to do this?
Well, I don't like this.
I don't like this at all.
This is how you give away an army. I think he's looking for an army to poke, maybe?
I'm not sure what he's doing here. I'm kind of surprised to see Rain
joining up. We might see another base race. I think we are going to, because Rain's too out of position right now to do anything. Maru with a great attack here at the third base. Picking up that next is a matter of seconds.
Yeah, cleans that up easy peasy.
Rain actually
there's a big attack coming up here, and keep in mind that he can actually get up onto the high ground, into the main here.
Yeah, Maru has a drop into the natural too, Tasteless.
Yep, this is really nice. As you can see, he is actually going to have to pull out here. Okay, this is going to be, it looks like a base trade.
It does kind of look like that. Maru's doing a really good job during this base trade, Tasteless.
I got to say, I think he can keep moving forward here. Let's see if he gets up into the main. Actually, no, you know what? Protoss might not have enough. With the drop coming back here. Okay, never mind. Again, because he's coming up here with his army. This is one of the weirder games to cast here.
Yeah.
There's moments like this.
Well, Rain has to kill him right now, and he has to join up his army, I would say. Oh, look, he's actually going back with a piece of it, but a beautiful scan sees that. Because if Maru can get all his units together, he'll kill a half army, and Rain has 2 half armies walking around.
The thing is, what he needs to do is actually get up to the main. Oh, and this is exactly what Maru had to do, was get the Colossi.
Very nicely done here by Maru.
I think is actually game.
That is
I don't
game.
think he recovered from that.
No. Rain had like some fantastic defense early on, but Maru, despite losing that big drop, outmaneuvering Rain on this map. Really well done. This series is fantastic.
Nicely done by Maru. I don't know if I agreed with how Rain opened up or how he played the rest of that. I thought the attack in there was weird. I mean, considering how Rain has won the last 2 games, he's really just sat back and waited until he is 100% sure he can win. And attacks him.
So it was weird and indecisive a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and he got there. Initially, it was just Zealots and Colossus and Sentries there.
Yeah.
And then he backed up, and I'm thinking, man, if he just drops on your army, all your Colossi die.
Yeah.
Force fields do not help you there, my friend.
Yeah, he needed to actually group up. He was really indecisive when he was going to group up after losing his natural. He like went back with part to try to catch Maru's army, but Maru was having none of it, man.
Yeah.
So that was like really, that was the big mistake for Rain, I think. If he had joined up his whole army and brought some probes like before, his whole Deathfall together beats what Maru has, but Maru might still win there. Like, there's no Phoenixes. Like, you could... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Rain wins there no matter what.
I think in the next game, we're going to see Rain play a lot more defensive. There's no reason for him to move out and attack like that. We're going to take a short little break. When we return, we're going to continue this best of 5 here with Maru against Rain.